some Johnny Depping, and most importantly, a lot of really disgusting, ugly voice acting that I cannot do, but I will do my best to be better at. So let's go ahead and start streaming this. Alright, so we have finished episode 1 of the saga, and we will be digging into the second day. Turns out, there is another person in the room while, with a gun, so we'll figure out how that goes. 22nd of November, 11:38 a.m. Supreme Court Judiciary. Defendant Antechamber, number 5. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the whole entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes were popping, your knees were knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistency in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it! It's terrifying! If I get through this, I'll ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again! Anyway, it looks like we'll be exposed your phantom lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett, a student of Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone! There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing that I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I did not see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down to pick it up, bang! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot came from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as sheet, and then he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective, he apprehended the suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I had no idea what happened outside of the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Get my old people voice down. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectation, I have to say. Yes, it seems that you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy, a justice system even more so, which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid the situation that may have resulted in their study to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, I am the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis in his life. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it has come down to you, young man. To me? Yes, I need you to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say,
I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case.
Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim?
Yes, I did. As you probably are aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMass. And it was I who invited him.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that before.
Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university vet professor from Great Britain, and well-known one at that. Naturally, our government's looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible.
But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide.
Yes, I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put out a good fight, right to the last. Good luck!
Thank you!
Now then, I need you to run an errand to the university at once. There's something I think you may need.
Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defender Naruhodo! The court recess is over! Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once! It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said that you believe me then, I'm very sure I've already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I will save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria at the University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. November 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of the Judicature, Courtroom Number 2. The courtroom here resumes the trial by Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Oshiji, have you managed to subpoena the witness?
Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds! And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under a painful scrutiny from the government.
Sorry? That the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about.
It's highly unlikely that the good relation we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Well, you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down on our nation's founders?
Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. That's a good point. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke.
What do you mean?
As a secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinion, a bungled investigation, a missing witness. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this what the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up, you old jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing. Nothing the situation of our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with the great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what secures our future. Meow. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and someone could arguably study harder too. But standing now here in the Supreme Court, there is one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth and justice system is a country with no future at all. Aye.
Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from the Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett! No, that's probably not how he said it, but that's funny.
Yes? Your Excellency!
Alright, let's see what that brat looks like. Oh no.
Well, what a delight to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land!
Tea! Someone bring English tea from England! No discussion takes place without tea! Is that true? No idea.
So, we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court.
Of course. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at...
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, what are your matters? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true?
Is that true?
No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing that you are sure of.
Yes, I think I didn't I?
Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryunosuke, but powers observation aside, your power description is sorely lacking.
Guilty. Oh, dear lady, once more again, if we can may trouble you for your name and occupation, please.
No hablo español. I don't know.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what?
The lady said her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student, currently enrolled in the UMA University's medical faculty.
Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tone of a delightful language of the British people.
Whoever says that?
I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was beautiful as a hummingbird song.
As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough.
Yes, I agree. Haha, you obviously do fine in England, Cosma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it?
Nor you. You clearly have been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called the Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court have been led to believe you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct?
年次が私はもちまんまま
She said yes.
Well, this can take some time.
Even so, she's studying here in Japan. She can't speak any Japanese. She would like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you were the one who engineered her escape, I was just following special orders from the borough.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind to cast your eyes over the photographic print? Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be you or spend the eye caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Apparently, it was very frightening and a sorrowful sight. What do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused standing right there is in his courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Ooh, what a turn of event. Order! Order in court!
Did I hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolute conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. A frightening and sorrowful sight. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered myself a beef, as only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long after, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eye. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
This is a condemning testimony indeed. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, black-hearted, wow, blackguard! And look at this white Snow White angel! I'm sure the dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine words the court is going to believe!
You're still making the same mistakes, Renosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. It's a lesson you need to learn.
But he's so annoying!
Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took the statement from the lady and 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the borough. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimony of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the date of question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere on her person where she could have concealed the firearm.
I would think that she would hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless there's a precise location where the witness is hidden the weapon can be shown. This is moot.
There's no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. There are no witnesses' own words on the matter.
That's ridiculous. I have only allowed to lift her up her dress. I could prove it.
Don't think about doing anything rash, Renosuke.
But I didn't fire the gun. I picked it up. There must be another gun there that day.
You're right about that, which means this lady is hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we need to pull her testimony apart. Not her dress. That would be inappropriate. Yeah, definitely guilty. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Let's hold it like crazy. Hold it every statement. That's how you play this game. A frightening sorrow sight. Arrange a meeting for slightly lunch, Dr. Wilson today.
Yes!
Press. Why did you arrange it? What is it about?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashion from Britain, don't you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No.
A decisive English no has quite the sting to it.
The gentlewoman is currently working on the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently the daily occurrence that they would have lunch together.
But on the day of question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first.
Yes, which we can prove from the medical record card that it was submitted as evidence earlier.
That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it's so late.
Yes, it all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic! Such shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So you both arrive at the restaurants. What happened next?
The professor was unaware to eat, so I ordered myself only a beef steak.
Yes!
He was unable to eat, you say? And that was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hada Clinic. Correct?
That's right.
You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering.
Was Miss Brett aware of that fact?
It seems so, yes. She heard that the professor was have some dental treatment.
So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett?
That is right, yes. The print you have shown is table exactly where it's left after the horrifying events.
Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To have traveled a distant island from far side of the world only to be embroiled in such tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I'll crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight.
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all.
That's right. Other than some carbonated water.
Just water?
Yes. The professor was unable to eat, but he has been given permission to drink water. So the payers at the dinner toasted their lunch with a glass of water each.
Ooh, there is some inconsistency there, because I only see one glass. They each raised a glass of carbonated water.
What do you think, Ryunosuke, about the witness's last statement?
It's very meaningful.
That last statement you'll hear, Miss Brett, has profound bearing on the case. Well, how fascinating. Don't tell us that you know the profound bearing, huh?
Yes.
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right.
The defense calls for witness' last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well. Miss Brett,
Kindly repeat what you just said added to your official testimony.
Gladly, she said. That was brilliant, Cosma. I'm going to remember that one.
Which one?
The significance will become apparent when time is right. I will really use that phrase.
I have a feeling that Cosma is going to die.
hope there is something more useful tip that you're picking up from the experience than that, real Nosuke. Can I press this again?
Yes!
So both of you and the professor drank the carbonated water, didn't you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured 2 glasses myself. I can clearly remember doing so.
Except you were actually a detective.
And the beefsteak. That was for you, Miss Brett. The lady says she's heard it is not customary to eat beef here until Japan opens its door to the world.
Yes, that's true.
What a frightful place. It's the lady's opinion.
And I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful.
Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is?
True, come to think of it. The first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more a shock to the first time I tried beef.
But anyway,
back to the witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying.
it's like, we need to pounce on even the slightest thing now, because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal is turning this trial around.
Understood, Cosma.
Okay. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and he got in a fierce argument.
I never got in an argument with the professor. All I did was notice him, and went over to say hello.
Please, don't get angry with me.
No, I wasn't directing the retort at you. It was meant to the lady next to you. But anyway, as I say, I did not argue with the professor.
I'm afraid your words are in vain.
Sorry?
Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese.
No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all seppuku arirokushu.
Ill? I wonder if the prosecution feel that way forever, only in the presence of beautiful women.
Well, the beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something to unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it might be.
Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I have still some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that,
I was about to finish my coffee and stood up to leave.
Like, there's no way she doesn't understand Japanese. Not long afterwards, the accused looked in the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes.
Yes!
Hold it! Like I said, I did not shoot that gun.
And like I said, no point in repeating the assertion over and over. Well, I was expecting to be attacked by my own side.
Back my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when it got rained down the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time, and a highly suspicious lady. That would do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel! Dirty? You baseless accusation to America's international incident, boy!
It seems to me that your accusation is just baseless as ours.
What nonsense!
The lady's merely stating what she saw.
And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway.
I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I could not have been the culprit.
Yes!
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it?
Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady has not carried a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not."
That's all you did? You just asked her?
Surely you could carry out a physical search, Inspector. No.
Why on earth not?
I don't know. Jenkins' woman clearly says she does not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need to further probe into the matter.
Or there was no permission given in any further probing into the matter, perhaps.
Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that refined lady concealing an iron, the prosecution demands your support your assertion with facts!
In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she's in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out there. Not to get her out of there, I just urge her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she's in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify in court today. Of course.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could have at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm scolding you.
So she maintaining that you got into argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him, which is an out and out, totally unfounded lie.
Which is how now to find the lie.
So her statement is very compelling. After all, she is elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from the head to toe in dull black school uniform.
I'm dressed exactly the same way you are, except for the flapping red ribbons.
Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as fiction as it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even with you with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous look that you're getting from around the room.
Only too well. I feel half dead already.
In fact,
I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony that isn't making me feel better either.
The first thing to do is to press her an errant statement that seems slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you.
I need to expose the true face of the exotic foreigner that's hiding behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination.
Alright. So, it's the second phrase. Both carbonated water. And,
So, both of you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Oh, shoot. I already did this.
Oh my gosh, let me go. Oh, let's pounce on it. Yes, Kazuma. How do I go back to the last statement? Okay, I'm gonna go back. No, not this statement. I want to go to this statement. Okay, I want to go. So you press right click to go back. So this will be a present situation. And see, if we look carefully,
there is only one carbonated water.
Present.
Yes!
Present.
That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing victims' tables at the crime scene. That is exactly as it was left.
That is correct, the lady says.
Well, that is, it's odd, very odd. Dear me, what are the odds of defense inability to express itself?
Ryonosuke, what about the print that looks odd to you?
Well, obviously, it's the cheers.
The cheers?
Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over the glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1.
Ah! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Are we supposed to impress this by nitpicking over the minutia? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case?
Objection!
Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I will never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on...
But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can only clink with only 1?
You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did this lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table.
What?
It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been here at all, she's saying. Good gracious! Sorry?
As I assured the court before, there's no consequences at all. Oh, please. We must remember that students have just murdered the lady's luncheon's companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now to accuse this vulnerable young, beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. All this can't be put down to mischief.
I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you said? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by a well-to-do woman in England.
So the beautiful lady is graciously explaining how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains the glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing.
No more pretentious accusation. I will have wasted enough of our time already. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel of Defense, are you in agreement?
Sup, Luke Shao?
Oh, thanks for thanks for the comment, man. I realize that if I just put it over here, and it's also easier if I'm playing a game with keyboard, it just forces me to lean forward a little bit more. This is this game is a hoot.
Well, I don't know really.
Do you want to pursue this matter further? You're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance.
Yes, you're right. So, she took the glass away in her handbag, and if there's a deeper significance it is the glass.
If you ask me, the fact that she took the glass has deeper significance here. Oh no, that's the wrong voice.
If you ask me, it's the fact that she took the glass has deeper significance here.
Why do you think that?
Because the property of the restaurant. It's not some harmless act of pilfering like taking a bar of soap home from a public bath, is it?
Well, is that a thing? You take soap from the public bath?
What? No. I mean, it's not significant here.
It's very significant, but this isn't time or place. There are more important things to concentrate on now. I think maybe you should reconsider your position too.
Sorry, I will.
Indeed, the lady has offered satisfactory explanation as why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider a matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement?
Well, I don't know really.
If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that there's deeper significance.
Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's deeper significance there, it's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, she said. Yes, do try to keep up. It's already explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun.
You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you picked up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really simple. The gunshot heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hasanaka! Yes?
Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder?
No, sir. I did not.
As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that's actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No!
Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what? Prosecutor Auchi.
Why on earth would you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at that time? Thanks to your burgeoning incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner! Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think
so, Kazuma? I'm coughing blood here. Well, what a sorry
situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police.
Yeah.
As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after a shooting, simply because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary in what way?
I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. Interesting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag.
Well, I never.
And you can see right through what's inside. That's right. Apparently, a meshwork bag like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the content are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious.
Ah!
As you can see, there's nothing implying Miss Brett's guilt here.
We're gonna get her pinned, and she's gonna go into jail, you little white.
Britain, Great Britain. I didn't say white, I say Britain. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhado-san. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, will you submit that print as evidence at once? Certainly, Your Excellency. The photograph of the handbag has been entered into the court records. A photograph by Hosonaga-san after the incident occurred. It shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. I think you have long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. Oh no. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there is no longer room for doubts in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed! There's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over at the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator for this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I was in a worse situation than from the start. Hey, Kazuma.
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now the cross-examination witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue.
What? You mean this is it? Tiskaha. I must say, you put quite up a fight, you rookie student, but for the weak are meat while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact that you can chew on your heart's content from the inside your cell. This can't be happening. I'm really going to be found guilty of a crime that I did not commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain was slipped through his fingers. Kazuma,
What?
is there really no chance now of turning the trial around?
You heard the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph detective produced that we can contest. Which means, there's no basis we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems that we will finally be able to repeat to the British government on time after all.
That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhado, having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby...
Wait! Your Excellency!
Ryunosuke?
I don't think you can rule on this case out.
Objection!
What amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deemed the trial's over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photograph print is just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room in doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling.
Now, that means that if there's a problem with the evidence, some significant detail,
then the ruling of the case at this time will be out of the question.
Objection!
That is blatant straw clutching. Look at the photographic print.
Okay, let's just actually take a look at it. I think there's something wrong with it. Let's see. There's a button in... Wait. Why is there blood on his hands? Yeah, that's it. That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. Alright.
Oh, it shows the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the date in question. There can't be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone court scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from the handbag.
My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is getting tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I'm desperate too, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about the polygraph which just doesn't seem right, and if I can just put my finger on it...
Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned, if I am unsatisfied with your response, the trial will be over immediate effect. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Excellency.
So, take another look at the photograph print Inspector Hasunaga submitted before. Will you identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail which you have alluded to?
His hands.
Hold it!
Look at this here. There is an unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. It looked almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what piffle would you come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner has also noticed when he was performing post-mortem examination. It's deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in this report.
Why did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the shape of that mark.
However, as prosecutor Achi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise detail of this burn.
Oh no.
Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem that Miss Brett had a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What are you thinking on this, real Nosuke? Do you believe the burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing,
If I don't keep pushing, then it'll be all over. So I was thinking if I should keep digging and digging in hopes I might uncover something useful.
yes, you are right.
I am?
If we just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise the shutting door back open again.
Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid without evidence I could not allow you to pursue this much little more than conjecture. Let's check our evidences again. Let's look at the coronary report. Time of death, shortly after 2 p.m. Wait, actually, can I turn this? Single bullet from close range, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral, ballistic trauma, no exit wound. The bullet did not pass through the body. Okay. What about this picture? So that's supposedly where the wound entered. That doesn't look right either. Business card. What else do we have here? Oh! We found it, guys. It's from the stake. So he was the person who had their hand on the stake. That will make it very, very weird. Fascinating. Okay, I think we solved it. Indeed, I'm afraid without evidence to pursue it. But if we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn to the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I have noticed the burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face.
Really? I have to find some link between the burn and the case. Okay. Let me think through this. This is the moment of truth. The moment to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means.
So then, defense will now present evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates intricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Crime scene photo. Present.
Yes!
What's this, counsel? Yet another print?
Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photograph prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at the scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, we might overlook at time are recorded forevermore. Hurry up, Loki! What are you trying to say? To inconvenience the poor lady any further would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we might have you stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brad. You say, it's very clearly visible on the other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here and forevermore.
What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy! If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out! Show the court exactly what you mean!
This game is epic. It's actually like, it literally has like it takes no budget to make, but it's just like drama, right? Like just courtroom drama. And I kind of got inspired after watching some Johnny Depp stuff. People are sending me memes on this, so it's really funny.
What is in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Right here. See that horse? Right here. Oh, by the way, Luke, Nightbot just said something. Did you try to do something and not work?
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate on the steak was served on.
That plate?
Oh! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate, and I would guess it's some sort of trademark on Le Carnival. Ah!
The emblem on this plate. Oh shoot. Press some weird button.
And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Ah!
Yonosuke, you're a genius. You're spot on.
Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he's at the present at the restaurant.
Ooh, let the music turn.
But what if that's the case? We don't even know if it happened on the day in question or not. It happened the day before or the day before that. Might likely happen another unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Prosecutor Archie, the chances of that are extremely slim.
Thanks. Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. In such a serious injury would have caused quite the commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it hasn't suffered very long. And, although it's not particularly large burn, it is extremely well defined, as the defense has pointed out. This is no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that a victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I have been investigating Ugh. I have been investigating the restaurant at several weeks already. I have not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
Yeah, but undercover waiter!
There you have it. Something isn't right here.
I feel like my voice is slowly turning into John Mulaney.
As the detective has said, anyone would burn themselves on a hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no questions of that.
And yet, Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream, not on that day, or any before it.
That's right, and the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either.
What are you suggesting?
Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day,
That would have been beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antique dealer, all of us would without a question heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie? Yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream?
I almost don't believe it. Real Nosuke, do you think...
Can it really be true? I never dreamt that I would arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of that makes sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered a burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... Ah! Wait, no, I didn't mean to click it. Yes, the professor being embarrassed as usual. Didn't notice... Oh, dude, I'm gonna get a penalty for this. Didn't notice a burn happening. Do you even know that the professor, yet you are here labeling him as a bumbling scatterbrain? How do I hold your wrist on a hot plate and see how your bumbling has scatterbrain hopes? Perhaps the steering will let out wake you up a little bit. Well, it's nice that there's a frankness developing between us. No, I just clicked too fast. I actually don't... I didn't have time to read what the options are. Don't call me partner after coming up with this nonsense like that. It's a critical moment. It may have been our very only chance to turn things around in our favor. Come on, Real Nosuke, you can do this. Or rather, you have to do it. You're the only one who can. There's only one explanation I can think of that makes sense and apparent impossibility. You're not going to give me a penalty? That's great. On the day in question when he suffered a burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. No man can remain silent with the wrist burning on a piping plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible, apart from one particular situation.
Counsel, are you suggesting?
Yes. It's only possible if the man's already dead. Already?
Dead?
Knowing what we know now, it's only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead! That's madness!
Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot!
That's right, absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by some rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the fact.
No, Prosecutor Archie. It was you who had no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent the victim had suffered a burn while at the restaurant, this whole case will turn upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from the witness again. If it's true, we now believe that the victim has already been dead before the gunshot was heard. It's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency!
The justice system in our country might be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Creepy.
What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relation between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I'm studying your country after all.
But then why have you always been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking your vulgar tone as much as possible. But it seems that the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtue of a English gentleman. So I can see that I have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your level. Well, you are quite epitome of a true English gentlewoman. You are truly honored by this. This lavish consideration having so graciously afforded us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. Curtsies? Well, we'll finally get to hear her own words on the matter. Let's tear her apart. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Alright, let's press the crap out of her. Unfortunately... Oh, sorry. Wrong voice.
Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glass in the toast. As far as I heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible case of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way the man's life had been taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably didn't pick it up on it anyway.
Oh wow, that was very loaded. That's the most captivating, beautiful testimony will go down in Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it.
I hope that is the last time I'll sully my lips with the coarse tone of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Oh, not at all! Not at all! It's a delight to merely hear you speak, dear lady! It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of victim burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. Yeah, the Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that really a prayer then?
Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the cross-examination for now. I expect you notice that it is a bully of a student, as you put it. Doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be a final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problem with this witness testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Let's go, let's go!
Yes, Your Excellency.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Alright, I just press. You press the press button to get more information. So I'm cross-examining this person. Press Q.
Yes!
But his hand was on the searing plate at the least 3 whole seconds. You could have not noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived in this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on the unsightly black trouser of your has been wide open. You can't have not noticed, can you? Huh? Huh? Ah! Oh, what fun. You haven't realized. The dear lady's absolutely right.
As your friend, you have embarrassed me as well as yourself, real Nosuke. Why didn't you tell me?
Dr. Wilson, it's a true English gentleman. You chose the honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can!
Yes!
Well, I can't! Anyway. When the waiter brought me my steak, the professor and I raised our glass and toast.
Oh, that's press this snitch.
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson only permitted to drink water at the time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter?
Exactly as you say, sir. Hello? Hello? Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Yeah.
Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of others in court, it means bless you. I think I means the exact opposite. Anyway. As far as I heard, post-mortem report showed no possible cause of death other than gunshot.
Oh wait, we need to go back to the gunshot line. We haven't pressed that one. Oh wait. Press.
Yes!
Yes.
It is written here on the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes? Luckily for all of us, the little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. And as there were no signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate some other cause of death, it can have been a bullet from your gun that you pulled to end this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate has been brought to the table by the waiter.
Yes, that's true. If it had been cool even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim's burned wrist and the hot plate as soon as it was brought from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact remains the victim was killed by a gunshot to his chest. Until you were able to show the court evidence to disprove that. This is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Chi is right.
Ah! If there would be other ways a man's life could be taken without a trace, please, do show me.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace. If someone's shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there is always a telltale trace in the body. Quite right, lady. And as police force have thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosonaga?
As I have to say, I always aim to a flawless investigation.
There will be a physical trace of Evaldo's cause of death. That's true. But maybe there's some other way to killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. Poison. If heaven forbid you doubt me, John Man,
you're going to have to tell everyone exactly how you think Professor lost his life. Otherwise, I fear your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it?
Oh! Oh no! Perish the thought, calling such sweet young ladies innocent in question. On my honor, Takasuchi Auchi will cut down anyone who has such aspirations. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence!
I think I know what to... Of course, this country's inferior investigative technique probably won't pick it up anyway. Press.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found on the crime scene for after examination. But in this country, you investigation once, and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right. The carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after its incident.
Exactly. What means if even the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to you your native detectives try to preserve the quiet crime scene. I'm trying to be tactful as I can, you understand.
Haha, you killer blow, the lady's formidable as she is beautiful.
Amazing.
Amazing! He's actually admitting to our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Auchi is finally starting to see sense.
I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about Miss Brad just said. There's a moment before when something didn't quite right. Alright. What do you think, Ryunosuke?
I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information.
Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean
I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere that can help us find a chink in her armor, and I know exactly what to present.
Kazuma? What, Ryunosuke?
There is something I know. There's something been bothering me.
Bothering you? Mean about Miss Brett?
Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga.
The detective?
Yes, he seems to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, or it might be present opening maybe.
Alright, I'll have an idea. Try pressing her on the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective.
Alright then, I wonder what Kazuma is thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again.
Yeah, so when you press the last statement again, press.
Yes!
Inferior?
What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police stole everything found in the crime scene after examination, but in this country, everyone went. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been standing with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But the things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity.
What do you mean?
When the people are actually testifying, they aren't usually very careful to not let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down.
You're right, look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts.
It's time to pursue the man in the train of thoughts.
Sorry, pursue?
I'll explain how to do it now. Ryunosuke, it's all about with the witness marker.
What marker?
At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who is the person actually making the current statement. Oh, I need to swipe? But by moving the marker left and right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witness, you'll be able to pursue them with space. And you can catch a person just at the right time. You might be able to uncover new information to pursue. Oh, it's doing though. I'm just mixing up voices. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst people on the stand, take a good look around. Oh. Alright then. First start looking around marker, go across with A and D, and focus on the detective. Then pursue him with space and see what happens. Here we go! Means that even if an investigation, vital evidence might be lost. Ooh, how do I pursue?
Excuse me.
Excuse me? Ah, what the? What's the meaning of this? Come. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He's really lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking about something just now, Inspector. Perhaps something heard in what the lady next to you had said. Is there something you'd like to say, please? Share it with the court.
Objection! What's the meaning of this? It's the delightful Winklefoon who's testifying at the moment. You can't find fault with her testimony, then cross-examine should be over immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not.
Huh?
The detective is on the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Yes, not to mention fact, he's intimately involved with the case.
Inspector Hosonaga? Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to speak. Oh, Brett is not happy. You little brat. Yeah, just like, boom! The lady's right. Our country's police practice are not modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved with flawless.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Uh-oh.
A crime scene thief.
Well, it looks like the lady's remark touched a nerve there. Take this, for example.
It's that.
This is the bottle of the carbonated water I took from the victim's table on the day of question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened for 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says.
Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it.
One day our police force will be among the best in the world. And the time is coming, I guarantee it.
I mean like, 90% conviction rate.
I can't say I condone the witness's action, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle water as evidence.
Yeah, in the United States that will be totally illegal. Like if things are, if evidences are like obtained illegally, they can't enter into the court record.
Miss Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle in which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle.
No, it's like, so why is the guy coughing blood? So the way this game works is that they need to create these really colorful characters in the courtroom, so they kind of give everyone this like really, really quirky animation. Like from before, we have this like sergeant who was carrying a baby, but you don't notice the baby until later when the baby starts crawling out of the side. And for this guy, it's just like everyone has that one gimmick. Not everyone, all the witnesses and suspects have something like that. So, yeah,
What was that about? She seems to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question.
Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Ahem. Unfortunately, I have no idea who opened his wrist like that.
Okay, so I definitely should check the... How do I check my... I need to check my stuff. So there's this new thing. Let's see what we can find here. What is on the thing? Because we do detective work while we are...
The label is written in a foreign language I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma?
I think it's in French. This must be a very expensive water.
Yes, what does it say? That's what I was asking.
And go to France and ask.
You could just say that, don't you know?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Nothing here. Ooh. Nothing here. Let's see. I don't know. Anything important to look at here? Can we click on that? Can't find anything out of place. What about in here?
So this is the carbonated water that the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had.
It seems like there's a little left in the bottle, though it's plain water now.
You know, I've been sweating so much, and I'm absolutely parched. I just have a sip and keep me going.
No! Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking this evidence.
Oh no, you're right. I don't know what might be inside, do we?
You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water?
What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think there might just work something out. It's an interesting possibility.
I think I'm gonna do this one. This phrase over here.
New evidence. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. I never thought of pursuing another witness over a current witness statement.
That was a great idea of yours, Kazuma. Well, that's all thanks to you noticing the detective has reacted strangely to what the lady has said.
I never have guessed he had all that bubbling away under the surface.
To be honest, you keep surprising me at every turn.
Sorry.
Oh, never mind. So we know that Dr. Wilson was killed around the time the steak was brought to this table, and by some means, that no physical trace on his body. If we could just demonstrate how it was done.
Well, I do have one idea about that, about how the professor was killed. Poison. Maybe I should present the evidence and see what happens. Unfortunately, I have no idea how the man hurt his wrist like this.
Just get caught to death other than shotgun. Let's present the bottle! Present!
Yes! That statement contradicts the facts demonstrated by this evidence.
No, it doesn't. Darn it, I lost points. As far as I can tell, there is nothing to untoward about this evidence.
But that...
Pull yourself together. You look through the eyes that will pop out of your head. I can't help with that. It's just my luck. Okay. 4 more tries. Oh, shoot. It's this phrase. The man's life can be taken without a trace. Please show me. Yeah, I'll show you. With a bottle. I'm not gonna check it. I'm gonna present it.
Yes!
Take this! What is this? The bottle of water?
Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we all know that Dr. Wilson drank from his bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass?
Order, order, order!
And on that day, who was sitting on the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Meow. This is outrageous for such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you ever considered that this delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only signed the accord with a friendship with the British Empire? Have you even had the vaguest inkling of your rash accusation can jeopardize the whole entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. How do you even pronounce that?
Ahem, if I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack! Shut up! It is you who should be silent. Of course. Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped.
I lost that voice. How did you do that voice again?
I'm afraid I must be spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring to?
I describe your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector. And whether it contained poison or not.
Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time.
I don't believe it.
Naturally, we tested inside the bottle and its content. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in the country in the present time. And we could find no trace of the poison of any description on the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself.
No! I'm very grateful for your Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. Bye-bye, of course, dear lady. The pleasure's all ours. I was so sure.
This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think the cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot from the chest is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit.
I'm done for.
The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience it has caused you, Miss Brett.
Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further evidence to present to the court at this point?
Okay, I got Kazuma?
I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you excuse me now, I really should be leaving.
Hold it!
Oh.
Please, wait. Isn't that?
What's the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appears like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furokoshi cloth. I don't know what that is. I'm not Japanese. No, that will be it. Is that? Oh no, we have time to play more. Okay, let's keep going until the hour.
Trial Part 2, Episode 1. The Great Departure. Let's go to... see what happens next. 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judice. Is it pronounced like judicature or judicature? I don't know. Courtroom, number 2. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! Judicial assistant? And a woman, no less! The rule states that females are not permitted into the court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. And I'm only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency, I am most grateful. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is this? A report about something written in English? It's Giselle Brett's research. That English women's? After a trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she?
So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know.
She will not sound like that.
I haven't been able to listen to proceedings of the trial myself. Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and effects on human subject. Interesting.
Curare? What's that?
What's that? I've never heard of that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of the female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read in detail. I have summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it would be valuable, please cast your eyes over it.
This is wonderful. Thank you.
Giselle's report has been entered into the court records. Goodbye, Benz. And good luck.
It's like I almost say, Kazahamida. Wrong culture. You have long enough, counsel. Let's go read the court record real quick. On the new evidence. You always want to read the new evidence. Report detailing the unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time. Ah, it's a poison. Synopsis. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungle of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient time to incapacitate their prey. Effects: instant paralysis on the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as infected by a blow dart. Due to its ability to render a body paralytic, it is also believed that the toxin have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution of respiratory arrest caused the result of full body paralysis must be found first. The patient would die of suffocation. Okay. Good information. We have long enough, counsel. You cannot detain our English guests any longer. I ask the prosecution and defense for one last time. Does either side have any further evidence presented to court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution made the case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryonosuke, we're out of options here. This is really our final chance.
Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence.
That look. That unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior.
Uh,
Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
'Cause
'Cause
I'm
I'm Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not very long until tea time, and I politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems that I wasn't clear. I realize this phrased into a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. That didn't translate into English either, so, it's not your fault, lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence demands the court's attention? It's like, this is the first level, so it's like pretty obvious which you need to present. It's obviously the new evidence you randomly have. I present Giselle's report. Miss Giselle Brett, I understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University doing research.
Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison?
Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body can lead to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete utter nonsense!
Curare, you say? I never heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before. One very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist?
Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police can do for the toxin, they'll never identify curare. Why? Because there's not a test available here that can identify the presence of a highly deadly poison.
Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by a visiting research student from England, curare had long been used by tribespeople of South America as a poison to lance in their arrows. It would seem that the reasonably well-known among European doctors and scientists
To lace their arrows?
The report states that the produced from the extract of a tree grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was the first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows lanced of curare suffer instant death.
Does that sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations are utterly trumpery.
Oh, sure. I literally did a somersault with my throat.
To start with, the victim had administered some of the so-called deadly poison. He would have been squirming, writhing, and playing, and other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed disturbance like that.
I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact the victim didn't show any visible sign of distress is the evidence curare was used. Explain yourself, counsel! The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they're in total agony, there will be no visible sign of pain at all.
How terrible!
Obviously, if a man lost all his strength and muscle, he'll collapse on the floor. But with a chair under his support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow Cosmo. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. Poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscle to control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all of the while, the victim is conscious and aware. just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But before the victim himself, his final moments would be living hell. That is the true nature of the deadly curare poison. And you're suggesting that bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
This is very convenient, isn't it? Here's an unknown poison which there's no means of testing. What happy tale for a defense?
If I may?
All these facts! You think you're so clever! You must have...
It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal others' honest hard work and then announce the result as if you discovered them.
I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever you do to me, capitalizing on an unfortunate circumstance of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime, that is really a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Oh, she's gonna drink it. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant island boys. Sorry. To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Ooh, I'll have to call you back. Your little police games, these foolish courtroom antics, is laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now, so it's time for the games to end. Cheers! Wait, what are you doing? No sparkles left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Yeah, it's because it didn't enter through drinking. It has to enter through a wound. To the gunshot wound, actually. Well, what is purported to be a gunshot wound. Oh, that's how you shoot someone without someone, like, freaking out. Goodness, whatever's the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no Kirara. The bottle's clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the finding of my research so concisely in this grand venue. Most kind. Gah.
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time. The furtherance of friendship of our country. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There has to been a poison in that bottle. Or how? How did she swallow the whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to be a way been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't happen. Because of the otherwise, she would have kneeled over and died.
It didn't enter through the mouth. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have the clues now. That bottle of water
Contains no poison.
As I thought, there's no poison in that bottle. What? Why? Why Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there were poison there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivete really astounds me. But sometimes it's in need of a good stain. Dark as your uniform, the weight of the world.
Oh, that was what this color is supposed to represent, huh?
That would be guileless ending to a promising line of inquiry, counsel, which will be penalized.
Ah! This whole trial is poisoned! There has been poison in the bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been...
Come on, Ryunosuke. You have all the clues now. That bottle of water. Oh, contains poison, but it doesn't poison you if you drink it. That's how it works. You serious?
Objection!
Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way the bottle can contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the courtroom record somewhere. It has to be.
Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you, what supports the assertion with evidence? What explains the witness is able to consume this deadly poison unscathed? Of course, it's the magical book, guys. Pretty zen.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here. Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation, no? After all,
We don't speak English. This report is utter gibberish. Imprudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Be honest, I'm just reading Susano's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to the riddle? Practical application. Wait. Let's see. I think it's under the practical application section of the book. So it's not this. It's under special characteristic. Yeah, so it's probably this one. Poison enters body through a wound. Okay. Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this character poison, and it left me curious about something. I know, it's just like this is like a freaking like a medical report with like 2 paragraphs. Oh, counsel.
Well, it sounds like an indigenous hunter have been using poison for years and years to lace the head of arrow they shot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please! But if they were to use the lace arrows, does that mean that there will have to be traces of poison the prey hunters were going to eat?
Yes! Good point!
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because they would be eating poison.
Good gracious, counsel! No, that would be madness!
But I actually found the answer to the conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristic, it said this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense.
Yes, it mentions that the particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. It makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When the character enters the body through an open wound, it has a terrifying poisonous effect. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effect whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You know the cure's special characteristics. And you know that you can make a spectacle drinking that water without endangering yourself. Ah! You meddling little... Rapscalloon? What was that word? Well, Rilnosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really, me? A lawyer?
Objection!
Oh, this poison is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it's possibly... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some fact that he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge does not suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. How? Because if the person drank the thing, he would have died too. It turns out that it enters through his different area. Yeah. The schoolboyish flaw. Even as your brain had managed to deduce, Kyoko is safe to ingest. It seems likely its effect is neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric sulcus. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk. The professor wouldn't have died if he swallowed it, wouldn't he? Ah! That's right! Oh, good gracious! That's basic science. The science even at schoolboys should have been able to understand, no? Wow, this court case just has so many turnarounds. Order! Order! Order in the court! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would have been affected the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes! The Kyoko poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you can understand something simple as that. What is this swelling inside me? I have never felt like this before. It's like some sort of conviction breakdown, all the discrepancy. It's so intense, it's almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaws here. You know exactly why, even though both of you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Ah! Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone be killed by the poison? Oh, he went to the doctors and had undergone dental treatment. And there's open wounds, guys.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Ah! The toxin effects Kira only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. And for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poison water? Take that! Inside? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have, I don't know, maybe if you had just been to the dentist? and had a tooth extracted, for example? Ah!
Oh!
Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
Ah!
So that's it. You used the knowledge to orchestrate this.
Is she laughing?
I do not like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so poor. I don't even know what that word is. Puerile? How do you say it in British? Puerile?
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You say, when you leave a vital evidence lying around, you'll never know what's happened to it.
No!
I mean, it could just slip. Oh, you little sloot. Wow, the drama. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid so crucial evidence may have been tragically destroyed.
No!
What is this? What just happened? It's the English person. She smashed the bottle in the Supreme Court. What a terrible one. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of the water that's been broken from the bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. The delightful carpet on my feet is a gift from the British Empire. And I assure you, it was soaked up all the water beautifully. You have neither the technology or the presence to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this!
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there's really poison in that bottle or not.
You.
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, young lady.
That's right. And really looking at the photograph, it is clear as day, isn't it? Poor professor was sitting his back to me. So of course, the only person who shot him from the front is this little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using cure care. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Noruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion of what followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit the crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution stance remain unchanged. The victim, John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, it's like a joke. Oh, I just realized it's like a play on John H. Watson from Sherlock Holmes.
Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Noruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way they destroyed the evidence was obscene.
Ryunosuke, yes, we've come this far, but now that you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We have lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there's any other clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were one thing that you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice anything this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back now then. Try to remember every last detail of the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt. Every color.
Blood! Oh, they're playing with the whole, like, we're in, like, the Edo Japan, so, like, oh, they don't have color. Is Cosmo right?
Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There is a clue.
Actually, Kazuma,
I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue.
haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Real Nosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence.
Alright, I can't wait!
I feel like I made like a very bad mistake in deciding to choose to give this man the silliest voice that I know.
It's been niggling at me for a while. Something feels amiss in my memory of that day. Whatever it could be, the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clues that shows who Dr. Wilson's killer must have been.
I mean, like, it's obviously the blood, or is there something else that I am missing? It's like, usually the first story is usually the easiest, and it gets done a lot harder as we go. Okay, I have 3 more lives, so I can afford to do this.
Take that! Inspector Hasanaga, answer me this!
Yes, what is it?
He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you have said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigation, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else of the scene of the crime? Like, for instance, the plate of steak you took to the victim's table that day? Wait a minute, where are you going with them?
Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene in a photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was splattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that cannot be the case. Huh. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate. The steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shoot Dr. Wilson from the front, there's no way the blood of the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Wait, how does that work? Oh, because it sprays forward. Okay.
Ah!
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett!
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
Pardon? This is beyond ridiculous, fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accuser apparently just remembers seeing?
this. This could be the moment of my entire career police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean?
Yes, I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, the meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant has been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice.
Then we can find out sure whether there's a spot stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir! Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your own leisure. Oh no. No blood? No blood anywhere.
But
no.
that's impossible! Exodia! I know, I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
You have eidetic memory.
Ha 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 ha. What an oncoming expression, little boy.
What is your motive, though?
You see, that's why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Ah! Because I couldn't agree more. In case of disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we finally reached the conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. That's the pretend to attempt the cotton proceeding is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all of it when it's over. Ha! Sorry. Looking steak reveals the fact all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accursed wish to examine it again, be my guest.
Well, I will do exactly just that. I'm gonna go look at the plate. Oh, it's not entered yet. Oh. Now it's entered into the courtroom. Okay.
Was it the plate I saw? What I thought I saw? Or just a figment of my imagination?
Well, we'll have to win because it's chapter 1, so it has to be in here. Let's take a look. Slutbag of whole America, what is that?
What in the world is this?
I think it's a Koban coin, the hallmark from the Holy Era, I believe.
Oh no! I don't mean what it is it. I mean, what is it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Holy Koban?
Yes, apart from the meat juice, it looks like being in good condition. I imagine very valuable.
And isn't this the first time today that I've been talking about Holy Koban?
I heard the pearls before swine, but I've never heard of a billion of a bullion.
I don't believe you will ever again. This is extraordinary, though. This means...
I don't know. I certainly never find a precious coin underneath a thick cut of meat. And it's from the Holy Era, too. It will make it quite valuable.
It's well marinated in juice as well. Look!
What are you thinking of? Eating it?
Oh, no. Just the next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's getting racing as I lift up the meat and peer under for a prize.
I think you might have the wrong end of stick about this, real Nosuke.
A Koban coin underneath the steak? There's only one logical explanation.
Actually, don't know what the logical... So, there was an old man that testified earlier, and he was trying to sell that coin. He lost it before the gunshot. This is probably the coin itself that we're talking about. Okay, we'll see how the trial goes.
Is this now? I'm lost!
Ryunosuke, it is not over yet. Not until the final gavel.
Huh?
Don't stop believing.
Believe in myself? Really? Huh. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself.
I just did. As the evidence requested by defense has not been shown problematic in any way, I presume further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
That blessing was going to clinch the trial for me. Can't the plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue.
Your Excellency, please wait! The plate of please has hiding another clue! Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth! The only thing shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must assure the thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly found ally for our country, that is still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clear to tell the court what you are alluding. What precisely on the plate of beef is this new clue to be found?
Inside the steak.
Huh? What in the world is this?
Wait, that's we already did this. Wait.
Come on, that skip. We already did this story. Wait. Did you say that was a holy come on? Blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh, we're at the juicy part. Blah, 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 blah. Bullion.
Certainly never expect to find precious. Oh shoot! I think one thing about this game that's really annoying is like you can't skip. Can't skip. You just like kind of like, okay, I'm stuck here. Okay. Wait. I can go under the. Can't find anything out of place. Okay. It's like we already had this conversation. There's only one logical conclusion.
This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat?
It's a cow, dude. Obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware.
So this is a symbol of Le Carnival, is it?
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Nope, there's nothing out of place here. Can't find anything out of place. Oh, what is this? Wait, I feel like you didn't lift this out. So I lifted the steak up. Oh, it's the same conversation. I have to skip again. Okay. Let's see. The juice? What about the juice? I don't know how. Like, I don't know what they're.
Got it!
Good! Good gracious! That's Oh, you should just press R. That's why I was stuck. A Koban? It's Meowth. That's right. What on earth? A Hoi Era one at that. Miss Brett. This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the day in question, is it? Tell me. Why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing in my life, and I don't know what it is, and I know no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. The coin under the meat? This could simply be a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened on accident in the kitchen. Also, it will melt if you cook in the kitchen. Rick Hoi Korban happens to be hidden underneath a piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip out my ticket to Great Britain right now! He is right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency! Yes, Counsel? The rare Hoi Koban happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now! By all means, we don't let stop you. No one invited you anyway! Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what's under in the steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the combat coins found underneath the beefsteak is... this crazy man that we just interviewed. Hoya Korituta, 7067, the owner of Ratsute, who had the last Hoi Era gold coin at the time of the incident. Oh, he can't find it because it was switched beforehand. Present! Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and the owner, Rasute, Kiryo Kurikata-san. Kiryo, as in Mr. Cucumber or something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside a military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency? I remember saying you was up to something with the Koban coin when it happened. At the exact moment, the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for the treasure. Indeed! Hoika Era Koban, my prize coin! This Hoi Koban, do you mean to tell me? No! Please! Why would Kurihaka-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? Makes no sense! Which is I was asking to bring Kurituta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him! Officer, bring forth the business testified earlier back in here. Alright, this is a great time for a break. Without moments today! I think that will be it for me today. We will save and wrap this court case up. I can't believe we have to turn back around from this pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find out the key element of this case. So hopefully this has been a good series for all of y'all. Good experience. Yeah, that's the crazy baby man. And here's the poverty lady. What's this all about? How I have been called up again? Okay, I need to go. Alright, that's save. I'm gonna be in data 2. Excellent. Thanks for everyone who's joining. It's good to see you, Xiao, and for everyone that has been watching but not been commenting, it's good to have you around too. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 3 to 5. We'll be playing Elden Ring. Now I've taken a week of break from it. Hopefully, I will be less frustrated from all the death that has been caused by stupidity. See ya!